Ag PhD full episodes and more are now available on Acres TV, the newest ag platform connecting you to fields of information. Look for us on watchacrestv.com.
Each week on the show, when we do our Farm Basics time to kick things off, we're taking something that we talk about or we do or we use in agriculture, and we're just trying to relate that to you if you are a non-farmer. Well, today our question is, what is a row cleaner on a planter?
Well, we didn't say a room cleaner. I know for any teenagers listening out there, they're like, this is great. There's something that'll clean my room for me. No, you're stuck doing that. But if you've got a planter running through the field, think of all the jobs that planter could do besides just putting the seed in the ground. One of them is clearing the residue out of the way so there's more sunlight hitting the soil, warming it up so your seed can get going faster. I think that's probably the biggest thing here with the row cleaner is, let's just take for the example, soybean field. You're planting soybeans and you've got corn stalks from last year's corn crop out there. Well, they could be laying every which way. Even if you moved them to the side last fall, they could have blown back over where your row is going to be this spring. Well, right in front of the planter, you could clean that out with a good row cleaner.
With row cleaners, what we're typically talking about here is coulters. So it's just some discs that are running in front at a little bit of an angle, and all they're trying to do is just catch that residue and push it just outside the row. Now, for a lot of us that farm corn and soybeans, we have 30-inch rows. Some people have 20-inch rows. But the point is, I don't want to push this residue far away because now I'm going to push it over into the next row. We just want to put it in between the rows, so we're only going to move it just a little bit. And it does take some adjustment when you get a new planter, and quite frankly, as you go into each season, the residue might be a little deeper, a little thicker, a little tougher. Sometimes your row cleaner starts to wear down, so there's always some adjustment, it seems like.
Well, here's one other thing too. Brian mentioned we want to push it to the side, but not too far. But it's got to be far enough that it gets out of the way of our gauge wheels that determine where that planting depth is going to be. Because if we move it just a little to the side and our gauge wheels are bouncing over that residue, we're going to have a seeding depth that's higher and lower as we go through the field. So we've got to move it out of the way so we warm up the soil. We move it out of the way just enough so we can have a nice consistent seed depth as well.
Yeah, ideally what we're after is we want to have good seed to soil contact, and we want consistent depth and spacing in the field. It all starts with that row cleaner. If we can properly clean residue away, then generally speaking, the planter can do its job and work quite well.
Row cleaners are nice for helping our seed get off to a great start, but they won't stop our weed of the week. We'll show you how to get this weed under control later in the show.